So yeah, it's a bit one-dimensional for my liking.
See what they're looking at here. They are taking a little bit of that reserve time to think this one over, so not an easy choice for them, and some of the A-listers have already been removed. No Pango, no Mars. So see what they need, because you have sort of a lot of boxes that you want to tick here. Obviously, you want some team fight, but you need durability. Okay, well, you need team fight and durability. Kunkka sort of fits the bill quite nicely there, but
Yeah, not bad.
they should. I was gonna say they should be running this position 1, right? I mean, they could try offlane Kunkka, but I don't really think that's a thing that they want to do here. The Empire doesn't seem to think that that's an
Lifestealer
option.
ban.
Underlord, no sorry ban. Lifestealer, second Lifestealer ban we've seen today, so
Yeah, and it doesn't look like a great Lifestealer game once again.
no.
Like, Lifestealer doesn't do anything to store him. If he gets silenced by Skywrath Mage, he's just completely wrecked, and kind of bad against Bane too.
It's a weird sort of. Maybe teams are
Everyone is
slightly
scared of
overestimating.
Lifestealer.
Yeah. It's not a fun hero to deal with, but I think no sorry could deal with it, but it's their call. They ban it out. Empire, meanwhile, will continue on the offlane bans, taking away the Centaur. That is not a very popular
That's
hero
new.
nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From all the initiators, I feel like Centaur is pretty low on the list. And they had like a full minute of reserve time too. It wasn't a panic
That's
ban,
right.
it was deliberate. Madness. Madness.
Oh no, that still leaves the pool maybe not wide open, but open enough where they should be able to find something pretty good for last hero. Meanwhile, on the Empire side of things, have their final pick coming up first here. So we'll see whether or not they're gonna swing the DP into that maybe position 2 role. Do, if you do, you are fifth picking your position 5 support, but okay.
I guess it's just a position 3 DP. Or the, I mean, yeah, could be mid DP or mid Sand King. I'm leaning towards mid DP because I think Meles plays a pretty good Sand King, and I haven't seen him play Death Prophet. But who knows? It's I mean, sometimes people play heroes in professional matches but never play them in pubs. Not sure if you remember like the legendary iteration of Fnatic with like Era and Hani, Trixie, that lineup. Back then, Era was known for his lifestealer. It was like his signature hero. And then I believe on stream sometime he like revealed his hero's plate, and he had like 25 games on lifestealer in pubs, and he was like, I fucking hate that hero. So who knows?
I mean, that happens every once in a while. A player gets put on a hero that they don't like, but it's the best. But it's the best
Okay.
choice. Is no sorry. We'll take the Slardar. Yeah, off lane Slardar for. Okay.
Looks okay, I guess. It is another one of the Blink stunning heroes. There isn't like a ton of synergy that they have. But it is nice for just bashing people. Just blinking on them and bashing them.
And I guess you got a Bane and a Skywrath who are going to be able to contribute with sort of the slows and stuns. So last hero should have an easier job, just sort of hacking away at opposing heroes and getting up the counter to those bashes. But yeah, I mean, overall at this point, Wingblade, I mean, which of these two are you sort of looking as the one that has the edge right now?
Ooh, putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
mm, So we have DP against Storm Spirit, which is slightly favored for the DP. We have like... I'm gonna go with Empire on this one. I really like the CK Grimstroke lane. I think it's such a strong lane. And then just Sand King Mirana as well, which is just a lot of reliable setup and stuns. It is gonna depend on how well the game goes for the CK though. If he gets ganked like 2 or 3 times in the mid game by the Storm Spirit, rotating once he gets level 6, that's gonna be quite rough. Because as well as Afterlife did on the DP last series, I don't think a Death Prophet can really solo carry games. So we'll see. I think it's slightly favoring Empire though.
Yeah, it feels like if you're no sorry, you're looking at a game where maybe Manic on that Storm has to just kind of take over entirely, whereas Empire has something that feels more... stable would be the word to use, maybe easier to execute would be sort of better. Starting with pause here at the start, so hopefully it's not too long here. Players will be sort of clear and ready to go in just a little bit. But yeah, if you're no sorry, what is sort of gonna be the game plan after these lanes? Are you just looking at Link Slardar and a Storm Spirit to sort of carry you for a little while?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they're aiming for a particular big timing or something. I guess the BKB on the Storm plus Kunkka is gonna arrive at a similar timing. That's gonna be very nice for them, but they're not waiting for something specific. They're just gonna get their level 6 on Storm and start hunting people.
Empire went after the smoke play here early on. Might... actually, not might be. It will be a play for an actual kill. They're not really looking for vision at the moment. They've already drawn the line, so they are going to try for the long wraparound. Now, smoke's probably going to dissipate by the time they get into position, but if they can reach that high ground first, then still be set up for a play. The question is, will anyone from No Sorry walk into that trap? Because they don't need to. At least not at the moment.
We'll see.
He's going to push forward. They're going to ping him out, and... well... I wonder how long that sentry is going to sort of last there, because that's a pretty transparent move. Just push forward into 2 or 3 for no reason, then back off. There's got to be some sort of ward there, so... we'll see if No Sorry look to take it away. If they don't, though, that's the side camp taken away from the Storm for at least the first couple of minutes, so... just going to try and do what they can to slow down his early farm so that the Storm can't just sort of roll momentum against them.
Yeah. I really like this. I haven't seen it too often. But it makes a lot of sense because Storm gets a lot of gold and XP from that camp really early in the game. He needs like level 2 or 3 and he can start clearing it efficiently.
See, there was a sentry, yeah, over on Manic, passed to him by his teammate, so should be able to de-ward that whenever he wants, but he'll have to step out of lane for a moment to do it, so timing might have to wait a little while. Stodrin is not really going to give him much space, just trying to sort of push up on him whenever he can and sort of match that farming rate.
Ooh, last hero actually got Crush level 1. Don't see that super often.
Beyond. Little courier snipe there, taking down retrogrades, so a little bit of economic damage done, but yeah, as you said, the Slardar, I mean, realistically speaking, you could hit level 2 and just take the bash anyway, but that's quite the usual order, and it means he's not quite as threatening, and yeah, you see Retrograde and BZZ, they're just going to push their way forward. Yond is not in a great spot here, but won't have enough damage to finish him off, but that is a nice early push. Your Skywrath Mage has to use his salve on himself, so now if they try to push on the last hero for the damage, he's not going to have that fallback unless Yond puts more money into regen.
Now level 2 is up for the CK plus
Oh.
Grimstroke, and immediately they just engage.
Next hero.
Can't quite get the kill yet, but so much damage still.
Well, right on cue, sort of what I was talking about here. Yond had to use most of his regen on himself, so your Slardar is not in the healthiest of positions. His courier, actually that's a bracer, that's not further regen, so he might still be in a bit of a bad way for the next minute or two. So Team Empire have this combo they could just sort of go in on once again, and Softening Duo for Nosari has to be so sort of careful with their positioning. If they don't sort of get a silence or a stun in response, then they could easily be taken down. Yond, though, doesn't actually have a point in the silence yet, so it's really just the slow that he's working with. So shots still a pain in the ass to deal with. BZ continues to sort of take that damage. Meanwhile, looking over on the other side of the map, Melees has gotten sort of behind the tower. He's trying to pull these creeps out, but yeah, gonna shut down that play with the Nightmare quite nicely. So the creep wave will go back to the lane, and Dream, well, he's not really being pressured in any significant way, which, if you're Empire, that kind of needs to change relatively soon. You've got SK and Mirana, so you do technically have the means to do this, but getting a kill is going to be pretty damn hard against the Kunkka.
Yeah, it's so hard to pressure Kunkka.
It's got that same triple gauntlet build that we saw in the previous series as well, so it's all about the strength as Black Archangel comes in, drops down a sentry, so all of a sudden your Sand King is going to have to be a little bit more careful here, as they do have the lockdown. And I was saying Sand King and Mirana may not have kill potential onto the Kunkka. If Dream is the one who gets this combo, though, it's a very different situation. Between himself and the Bane, it could bring one of these two down.
It's weird as well. Mirana started with a Wraith Band. I haven't seen that done on a support Mirana. I wanna say ever.
That
I've
seems...
seen more Miranas just start with a null talisman just for like mana regen and stuff.
Good play from Melees there, using the Burrow Strike to disrupt the timing, but yeah, the Wraith Band on the Mirana, it feels like a play where Illusion would use that Wraith Band bonus to try and sort of go in for more right-click trading, but so far he really hasn't done that, and now he's just straight up dead. As Dream gets first blood, Black Archangel with the assist, and, well, Wraith Band doesn't really help you out much there. Meanwhile, other side of the map, last hero jumped on and finished off. Retrograde with one final right-click to get the kill, and Empire may not have gotten first blood, but they're quick to tie the score back up.
And in the mid lane, Storm really isn't having too much fun anymore up against the DP. He's a full level behind. That's what 14 denies does to a man.
Odrin is just on top of it. 2 and 15, so like you said, not a lot of fun for Manic. Part of the reason why, though, they invested in unblocking that side camp so that he can maybe keep pace with some of that extra farm, but now Dodrin's just gonna kind of go for it. Exorcism popped, and the Storm has spotted out BZZ over on the other side. The problem is his teammate kind of just wandered into the lane. Black Archangel will fall. Yond is trying to help, but there's no zip, there's no ball lightning. He's actually just gonna straight up die here. Dodrin takes him down. This is getting a little bit too tough for them. Yond has to back away so he doesn't get caught, but the level discrepancy, right, sort of strikes at the perfect time, and they might be able to get the Skywrath here. I think they need to hit on this arrow. Illusion get it. No, he can't. That Inkswell, though, is still coming through, and that should be enough for them to find this kill anyway. Very nice. They find the kill.
From Empire.
Spotted the stacked
Really
camps,
well
too.
timed. Storm finally gonna hit level 6 here.
There it
Go.
is. He needs that to really be able to do anything without that Manic, which is kind of dead in the water. And now the Storm can sort of fall back and try to take that stack that his teammates made for him, but Empire know that this is happening, and Dodrin and Illusion are kind of hanging out nearby to maybe try and stop him if he does commit for it. They have the vision. Well, not directly, but they saw him sort of come up the ramp in the first place as the Zip is going to be there. Illusion goes a little bit too far to the north, gets spotted out and quickly taken down, so Storm Spirit finds his first kill of the game. He's just going to go right back to farming, and, well, he's got a bit of a gap to make up for here. Actually, a lot of a gap. He's 1,000 gold behind Dodrin at the moment, but kills and stacked camps will certainly help him catch up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, Storm doesn't need items. He just needs nulls.
Retrograde trying to push in. The arrow will connect, so they do have the lockdown onto the last hero. They'll finish him off, and the fight's over. Yond has to fall back. Not a whole lot the Scareth can do there, so Fire continue to try and sort of push this forward a little bit. BZZ is just going to push the high ground. Got a wand, so he's able to, well, he was able to heal himself up initially. He just goes for the D ward and then dies for the vision, but overall, I don't think they're going to be too broken up over that. You do lose one of your supports, but you're able to take some of these wards away from Dosari, and while that's happening, Dodrin's got the Exorcism back up, and they're going to look for that tier 1. Angel, not quite on time with the deny attempt, but that's a tier 1 tower at 8 minutes, so all of a sudden Empire, they've got some momentum, and they've got more of their opponent's side of the map opening up to them if they want to try and remain on the offensive. So there's the jump. They're going to go in top. Stun into slow. Last hero is not dead yet. Able to remove that phantom, so he'll walk away and, well, okay.
Totally fine. No sweat.
I need a trip back to the fountain, but you're not dead. It's got to count for something, and maybe now the Skywrath can soak up a little experience here. Once he gets level 6, maybe Nosari have more options to work with, because right now, Yond is just kind of along for the ride, throwing in the occasional damage, but not really able to do anything significant. Checking on Dream. Haven't really talked about him too much since the laning stage sort of got underway. He's the top net worth hero, and is really coming along. He's got the armlet up. He's going to look for the Boots of Travel as that second major item. So your Kunkka is going to be really all over the map, continuing to farm, and certainly going to help him continue to outpace Retrograde, who's only about halfway to his own armlet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dream is nothing if not greedy.
No, greed's not always a bad thing. If you get away with it, you are looking pretty good as Black Archangel. Okay. Interesting attempt, but the Nightmare's immediately removed, and really know that there was much to do there, because your Bane's not quite level 6 either, so really both supports on the Nosari side sort of need to hit that mark before they go looking for anything aggressive, but considering how many of these supports have started rotating into the jungle, there should be plenty of experience for those supports to soak up.
Mela's not quite close to his blink yet. Needs another 800 gold at least. No points into caustic either, just a 3-4-0 build.
It's a bit of an interesting one. Of course, once he gets that blink, that does mean he's got a little bit more in the way of sort of kill potential, as they're going to go for the kill. They're looking for last hero, but there's that Mystic Flare coming in. Manic is going to zip his way forward as well. They actually need to be able to kill somebody off here. It looks like Dodrin is finally going to go down. They want more. They're pushing their way forward. The Moonlight Shadow, though, is helping them get away. BZZ is not going to get slowed by that concussive, and that fight was not exactly... Oh, God.
Be a bit careful.
Not exactly clean. Neither is this. Dream is... Well, yeah, he's dead. Didn't have time to toggle the armlet as he just immediately falls to that Inkswell, so Empire should be able to get this. There we go. They pull him back in, and that's going to sort of even things up for them. The initial fight, they sort of lose a little bit too much, but your opponents overextend, and you're able to sort of double back and find pretty solid 2 kills, including that Kunkka, who is the most valuable kill on the map at the moment.
Mele should be able to finish his Blink Dagger relatively soon, now cleaning up a triple Ancient stack. It's not quite gonna get him there, but it's gonna get him very close.
Just a little bit more. So, Blink Dagger will be up and running. Dodrin, meanwhile, is maybe one component away from finishing off the BKB, and your Chaos Knight just got his armlet delivered out to him. So, Empire starting to hit a little bit of an item timing here in the next minute or so, where they could try and force some fights, but... Well, the question at this point, Wingblade, will be... where exactly do they look to go? Because no Sari are not exactly overcommitting to any lanes at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like for now they just want to farm, get up their BKBs, and then start thinking about making plays.
How is last hero doing? He's about 500 gold away from it, so timing will be a little bit behind Melis. If Empire are gonna wait a little while to try and get some of those other items up, then that could sort of make up the difference, and then both of your sort of blink stun initiators will be online, but Empire are gonna make a move first. Two-man smoke here. They've got BZZ with the Inkspool play, so they are gonna have the double stun to work with, but to find a target. They should know that there's some heroes up in the top lane because their creep wave is literally chasing after them, so...
Ooh, if they can get last hero, that's big, right before his blink. But they're not gonna get it. Also, he has 1700 HP. I don't think they have the damage.
Them to come further
they
up the
need
lane.
CK for it, or Mirana.
A lot of hesitation here. Looks like they're going to make the move now, though. There's the first stun. The silence comes in. Inkswell connects. Arrow comes through, and...
Easy
well,
peasy.
as he said, they needed it, and Illusion's there to help out, so... big kill. Only problem is, yeah, they weren't quite in time to get him before that Blink Dagger was actually purchased, but... you needed the kill. You got the kill. It's going to get you a little bit more space to work with, and... checking back in on those other cores, as we said, Dodrin's almost done with the BKB, and retrograde Echo Saber play for him. So, Armlet Echo Saber is really a more sort of fight-oriented build, perhaps, for the CK, so they could look to get him involved in the near future, as go for the smoke play here.
I love the BZZ build as well. Just brown boots into Magic Wand into Aghanim Shot.
TP Melis into the bottom lane. They want the storm. Unfortunately for them, Manic sort of sees that move coming and TPs himself away. So, quite gonna have the target that they want. They push further to the west. They could still run into some heroes, but it's pretty much the whole team for No Sorry. So I don't know if that's a fight that they're really prepared for just yet. Illusion, meanwhile. This is kind of now the standard Mirana build, to go after the Wraith Pact. Oh, well. That does not help get you closer to the Wraith Pact, as he runs into about 3 or 4. Yon finds the kill with the Mystic Flare, and... sorry, get themselves a bit of a freebie there, but... if you're Empire... you lose your Mirana, but you do get some vision. This is where they need to be more concerned, though. 3-man smoke with the Storm Spirit trailing could lead into a larger fight. The question is, sorry, really look to go. Northside Jungle's looking like a solid target for them at the moment. They could run into melees. Do they have... actually have any detection here? Well, they've got the dust. They do miss on the crush, though, and that means Melis is going to walk away.
Yep, and Melis going for the Yules here as opposed to the BKB. Just wants a quick way to dispel the corrosive haze or any kind of silence.
Illusion taken down quickly, but look at those TPs. All 4 heroes coming in. They want to take the fight here, maybe even save the tower if they can. Well, they won't save the tower, but they got last hero. They got Dream. They're going to try and track down the Skywrath Mage, and that's not a TP that's completing. Odrin just sort of nukes him down, and they will find that 3rd kill. That is... well, that's looking pretty worthwhile. You lose Mirana, you lose your tower, but you find 3 kills, and now they are going to try to use the last bit of this exorcism to go after Roshan. They're getting through it pretty fast, though. Wow.
Phantasm as well.
Scan comes out from Nosari, so they know this is happening, but unless Manic wants to just zip all the way there, don't really have a play to make, so... John will go down, Retrograde gets the Aegis, and Team Empire able to push that lead just a little bit further forward now. 3k, they're just shy of it in their favor, so they are feeling pretty good here. Meanwhile, on the Nosari side, I don't know, Wingblade, it feels like we gotta see something from them. Dream's farming fantastically, but his Storm Spirit's been relatively quiet. He's got a BKB, so maybe that changes, but I don't know. Kind of get the feeling that they're maybe being a little bit too passive at this point.
Yeah, they're just so scared right now. And now the Aegis too. I don't think they're gonna be moving to like start any kind of fights in the next 5 minutes. They could try to get a pick off with the Storm and Sky, but even that, it's so risky.
Illusion spots
facing
somebody,
around.
walks under a sentry.
Easy kill.
Whoops. Gone. Not able to complete the TP, and now all of a sudden Manic feels like he has to sort of stay here to defend his teammate, but that just means you're going to be able to pick him off. Yond is almost certainly going to die here as well. He is stuck in the trees, and if you're the Storm Spirit, obviously he doesn't have the vision to know what was coming his way, but in that instance, you're sticking around just to potentially save a Skywrath Mage, but if there are other heroes there, they are always going to go after you instead, so unfortunate sort of situation there as the Storm feels like he needs to protect his teammate. Instead, they just both die, and with the Exorcism up, Empire could actually make a pretty solid push of this. Dream is going to TP in, though, and...
oh, almost
Okay.
one-shot BZZ at 19 minutes. Always nice to see.
Clears up the creep wave, gets himself out. Meanwhile, the Bane took the tower mid. At this point, honestly, even if he dies here, he's kind of done his job, but he's making a break for it, and I don't think they're actually going to really continue to chase him. He'll just walk away. While that's happening, though, Manic able to find himself a kill onto BZZ, so they do find the pickoff. Retrograde, though, is looking to return fire, but there's really not quite enough vision for him to make that move. Meanwhile, the Bane, once again, sleeps a target and walks away, so Nosari get a kill, they get a tower, and they don't take any casualties. Okay, Illusion doesn't want to take the chance of going into the river himself, so he denies the regen rune, but now Dream is... yeah, he's just
Doing
looking to
green
keep these
things.
pushed out. Yeah. Doesn't really want the fight at the moment, fair enough. Still have the Aegis up on Retrograde, so not really a situation you want to get caught out in, as Godrin is going to push the tower. Already committed the Exorcism. Oh boy. Black Archangel, nerves of steel here, as he is invis, so he should know they don't have detection of him at the moment, but that also means he's kind of stuck here. Teammates are going to start coming in, though, as Dream TPs, but this is an XTP, as he very nearly takes down some heroes again. But
Melis has a Yules. These kinds of plays are pretty scary now.
Manic zips all the way out, but he was TPing as he went, so he'll back up. The problem is, none of that actually prevents the tower from going down, so Empire still get the objective they wanted, and now with a couple of heroes TPing top, they could try to bait. There's going to be the burrow into the arrow. TP coming in from the CK. Last hero, yeah, he is not getting away. The Yule Scepter being used defensively by Melis just to make sure he doesn't get hit, and Empire finding themselves another kill. 15-9 in their favor. Aegis is going to be timing out in less than a minute, but at this point it really kind of feels like they got what they wanted out of it. They found some kills. They're farming well in their cores. Haven't caught up to Dream, but the only reason Dream is ahead is because he's basically not participating in any of these potential fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just hitting creeps, pushing out lanes. I mean, it's all he needs to do right now, and he's doing it well.
It's a solid plan. It just means they don't really have enough damage for some of these engagements, as they just completely ignored the bait. They had a sentry down, but they decide they want the kill onto the Kunkka instead. Dream, a far more valuable target, as they get him with the Inkswell stun into the burrow, into the arrow, and now they'll go back for that bait. Retrograde says, yeah, no, we saw you. Very nicely done there. They realize if they just walk past the Bane's not going to know that they see him, so they get the Kunkka kill, they go back for the Bane, and now they're immediately looking top. They're going to jump in onto Yon. Meles is thinking about the ult, not going to throw it out initially, but they may not need it, at least not to kill the Skywrath Mage, as they do take him down. That does mean Last Hero was able to make his escape, but at this point, if you're Empire, you're still feeling pretty damn confident. 3 straight kills, you have control of the map right now, kind of swinging your way too, and I don't know. Wingblade, if you're no sorry right now, Aegis is down. Is now the time to try and get Manic involved? He's been holding that BKB for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I can kill Dodo, and that's really nice. But nah, no way.
Godrin, and he kind of wants this engagement onto the Slaughter. Needs to make sure he doesn't get too far away from his backup, though, because his BKB was coming to an end, but Manic doesn't really want that full fight. I think he knows the CK is still sort of prowling around, so back themselves out and all is well. Nobody really dies on either side, but Empire is still the one sort of on their opponent's side of the map. That's an SN... Excuse me, not an SNY, a Kaya Sanj. Finished off by your Death Prophet. So Dodrin is gonna start turning into a little bit of a problem, especially as he now queues up the Hex. It's not just going to be some gradual damage from him over the course of a long team fight. He'll have actual lockdown to kind of ruin anyone's day. The Storm in particular, though. If he gets hit by that Hex, if he doesn't preemptively BKB, he's just done.
Yep. Did Black Archangel forget that this is not a pub game? Oh, okay, no. He finally moves. He was just standing AFK in Shadow Amulet for like 30 seconds. And I was like,
That's,
just playing the Void like a good position 5 should. Don't even try to use spells. Just buy a Shadow Amulet, get onto a cliff, and do your job. Moonlight now.
Smoke play out from Nosari. Moonlight from Empire. Scan is well placed. You're Nosari, so you know someone's there now. Do they actually push into it, though? Kind of iffy. Especially with the tower now being taken, and Dream sort of stepped out of lane for just a second. Gets the X-play to clean up maybe a creep wave, and then pulls himself right back, but maybe this is Nosari's moment.
To go.
Dream is looking for it. They're going to get down the bash. They blow Retrograde up. He wasn't able to pop his BKB in time. Now they're on to Dodrin as well. Well, maybe they're not, because he's going to pop his BKB. Goes for the Exo, trying to fight his way through this. Meles, meanwhile, channeled out that not the Crippling Cure, wow, the Epicenter, as he's able to do that damage, and no, sorry, it's a solid start to the fight, but the start is really only half of the battle, as Dodrin is pulled back by the Vortex. They didn't really have any follow-up damage, so Meles feels perfectly comfortable pushing his way forward, and now the Storm silenced up, hit by the arrow. Dream is going to start dishing out the damage, but he's already lost his teammates. I don't know if they want this fight anymore. Black Archangel's trying to hide underneath the tower. He's okay for now, but that's only because...
Just missed him.
Did it really? Yes, it did. He's going to walk away, or maybe not. Meles does not have spells. I think they still know where he is.
Oh, it's so close.
There it is.
Rip.
Man, that gets so bad. I mean, the initial play is fantastic, right? They get directly onto the CK, they blow him up before he has the chance to do anything, but then the cohesion kind of breaks down in the second half of the fight. Dodrin's just free to dish out any damage he wants. Melee's was not locked down in the slightest, and everything kind of turns on its head.
Yeah, I mean, they used everything to kill that CK. They used 2 BKBs, they used the Mystic Flare, and then both their defensive and offensive capabilities kind of waned. I love Melis and Illusion still just sitting under the void, waiting for someone to get close.
I don't think anyone from No Sorry is coming back up there after what just happened to them, but...
How greedy is Dream? Not that greedy. And Roche is gonna be up.
Back up. Aegis and Shard both available. Empire just gonna... start it right away is what I was gonna say. There we go. Retrograde's coming over. So, should be able to get through this quickly. Obviously the CK not quite as strong against Roche with the Chaos Strike nerf a while back, but 5 heroes in and no real resistance from No Sorry. So they should be able to take it. No Sorry are now moving out with a 5-man smoke. Will they get to the pit in time though? Roche is down to about 1/3 of its HP. It's gonna be close. Manic is going to zip in. They see it happening. Now they're going to make the jump. Last hero blinks his way forward. They've taken down Dodrin. Dodrin buying back. Roshan goes down. Retrograde is able to find the Aegis, but his health is not looking fantastic here, so he may need that second life. He is still fighting up inside the pit, though, and Meles is going to try to help him out. Coming in with the epicenter. The damage is okay, and that's going to make it better. The Burrow Strike connects. Manic and Last Hero both get taken down. Dream now has to fall back, but I'm not sure he's going to make it out. Meles is just tracking him the whole way, and... Dual Scepter has to be used to make sure that your Sand King doesn't die, but he does exactly what they needed him to do. Dream is the one to fall, and... well, you have to use your Aegis immediately, but it wins you that fight straight up.
That would have been a really hard fight for Empire if they didn't get the Aegis on Retrograde. Luckily, he was quick on the fingers.
And did he grab the shard as well? I think...
yeah,
I think
they gave it to Dodrin.
He bought his, so Dodrin, yeah, there it is. Yeah, they got everything out of that. They win the fight. They take a tier 2 tower. Looking pretty good
EXO
here.
is up. They could keep going.
That's exactly why Manic tries to make that play. Zip through
And
the
it's
creep
so
wave.
obnoxious because there is literally nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So with the Null Talisman plays, he's just got enough sort of mana cost reduction to just keep on making that zip out. So it's going to be a nice play for No Sorry to buy some time, but that's really all it is, right? If your Storm has to make that play, you already know that you're kind of in a defensive position, but it'll buy time for them, which is something they desperately need right now. But Empire side of things... this is kind of the unfortunate part. They've taken really just about all the objectives that it's possible for them to get without committing any further. There's a tier 2 mid I suppose they could clean up, but outside of that, it's kind of just going to have to be a high ground push, or maybe you could bait them into a team fight, because No Sorry, they smoked up, they pushed out. If this works in their favor, fine, but it's not going to work in their favor. As Melees comes in, he's going to be able to get down that first play with the Burrow Strike. Dream pulls himself back, but Black Archangel just gets blown up. Yond is now in some trouble as well, but actually, they're going to go for the Kunkka instead. They got the stun onto him. Retrograde finds the second kill. He's going to get the third as well. And Manic, that is too little too late. He's just not going to be involved in this fight, and perfect setup to get onto that tier 2 tower mid. Retrograde still has 1 or 2 hits on the DD rune, so that will help them get through it, and now they've got a ready-made push onto the high ground because the Kunkka does not have his buyback.
Yeah, Dream just a little bit slow on that BKB, expecting not to get stunned by the Inkswell.
Tier 3 down. There's really even no one in here to defend it. Last year just TP'd back in, and Black Archangel has respawned, but this isn't enough manpower to do anything. They really do need the Kunkka, so if they don't have it, they just have to sit here, and Retrograde's going to work on a second lane of Rax. There's going to be the Glyph to slow him up. Meanwhile, over in the middle lane, they caught Manic. They can't kill him, though. So he is able to zip himself away, but that means he's no longer cutting creep waves. Empire.
Odren. He has a Neon Disc. Not fully assembled, but he does have it. So really nice. Gonna stop him from getting bursted.
Hasn't really been too many situations, really, since the start of the game where they're actually able to get him down. But as we sort of talked about with the previous series, your DP just does damage by staying alive. So get yourself that Aeon Disc, work towards the Refresher Orb coming up next. So is going to be nearly impossible to bring down at that point. So Empire will work their way towards it. Meanwhile, I believe that was Melis getting a BKB finished off. Where's that? There you are. Yeah. BKB coming out to him right now. So the Sand King, well, no longer really has significant consequences when he does jump in. Between a Lotus and a BKB, no one's really going to keep him locked down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this Sand King is such a pain, especially with his gem. Because he can just do whatever he wants. Like, the only way they kill him is with, like, a Blink Crush into instant Mystic Flare and Storm follow-up. But I think he's probably gonna be fast enough to just either pop Yules or BKB.
Fire slowly but surely trying to get these lanes sort of pushing in their favor. Bot's already sort of working for them, and it is making its way through, but I don't know, if your Empire... Do you feel confident enough right now to just push high ground without a pickoff, without a man advantage? Because that still seems a little bit risky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. There's no reason. Roche could respawn in 150 seconds.
Low and slow for Empire. As you said, could be a quick respawn on the Roche, and then you're just really able to take control of the
Could be
game.
Aghanims too.
Speaking of Ags, that is one picked up on Manic, so he's getting there, right? Building himself up.
He is 6 slotted.
I hate that that is technically a valid statement. Hell Talisman's on Storm. Always a fun time, but let's see what they can do with that, right? AoE Vortex into some of this follow-up. Lockdown could work wonders for them, but they need to find a target first, and there's no target on this side of the map. So this smoke is really not going to do too much for them, but I think the fact that they're even pushing out of their
3
base right
bounties.
now,
That helps.
it's a bit of gold, but yeah, the fact that they're even pushing out and not just sort of remaining sort of pushed back and cowering in their base is a bit of a good sign for them. Of course, if they lose the fight now by pushing out of the base, they're going to look maybe a little bit foolish, but they would rather take that chance as opposed to just sort of sit and wait and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
believe
know
it
Roche
was.
can't be up yet, so if they lose the fight, then it's still gonna be okay.
Pause for lag. Hopefully it subsides pretty quickly. In the meantime, we're getting control of this outpost, so... Well, that would really just buy them some time. They're going to be a little bit safer to farm up in the Southside jungle with that outpost under their control, and... Well, I guess that's the play if you're no sorry. If your opponents are going to try to wait for the next Roche, you may as well try your best to farm up in the meantime. There we go. Okay. Looks like Team Empire are ready to get back underway, so see if that lag has subsided from Nosari and try to get back to it, but I don't know. Feels like this is really just going to be the way this game goes. Slow it down, see what happens with the next Roche, because Empire are not at the point where they feel the need to push forward now, and Nosari aren't at the point where they feel the need to try and force some action sort of desperately to save their game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just pretty chill now.
It's a little bit creepy, but
I guess that's the point.
Yeah, it's true. Death Prophet's not exactly the warm and fuzzy kind of type, I guess, but intentionally creepy is always just kind of weird. As Illusion wondering what's going on here. Still lagging. Okay, fair enough. So we shall continue to wait. No sorry, meanwhile. I do like not just looking for the outpost play here. We've seen them sort of drop down a lot of vision and sentries here as well. So really, it's just kind of necessary, right? There's heroes still need these items. Dream's working his way towards a Satanic. You got Manic. Okay, looking for the Lincoln Sphere play. So they've got some expensive items that they would still like to acquire. Last Hero... Actually, Last Hero might want to switch off of this AC, because they'd be doubling up in that case. The Kunkka's already finished off his, but... maybe Dream and
Mm-hmm.
Last Hero are far enough away from each other where you want it to overlap, but seems unlikely.
Probably not.
So yeah, we'll see if he queues up something a little bit different. As Manic... Manic is now DC'd, so there was a little bit of questioning coming out from the Empire side, a little pushy, maybe, but they wanted to know what was going down. Of course, they do have pause time on the No Sorry side. I don't know if it's 5 or 10. Not perused the rulebook for this event here, but if we're coming up on time, obviously the admin will let us know. But for now, they continue to have some issues with the storm. I just checked on Black Archangel's items. I kind of wish I hadn't. He has his boots, he has a shadow amulet, and that is it. 3,600 in terms of the net worth. This is a very poor
Mm-hmm.
game for the... But there's not much you can do. Black Archangel is never going to get farming priority. That's just straight up not a thing. But it's to make do with what he has. The problem is the other support really not fantastic either. Yon was at least able to get up a Veil, but his net worth is still pretty far behind BZZ's. He's working towards an Axe. That would be a great pickup, but I mean, he still needs quite a bit more gold for it. As got an update there. 5 minutes of time left for No Sorry, so now maybe maybe they should try and get it in gear, get Manic back in the game as quickly as they possibly can. But yeah, these supports just working with some really kind of shoestring budgets for themselves.
Hopefully the lag gets sorted out soon. Ooh, actually, Slaughter now went for a nullifier in his quick buy.
Well, certainly different from the AC, although that seems a little ambitious at the moment, considering how much gold he needs for it, but we'll see how much time No Sorry can buy and how much extra time Team Empire sort of want to take in terms of delaying this out, because if it goes another 5 to 10, then we can revisit this, and Last Hero does have the gold for that, as Manic able to get himself back into the game. Hopefully his lag has subsided here, and No Sorry will be ready to go, and yes, they are. Okay. So our desperate stalling for time has now officially come to an end, and we will get the game underway. Outpost going to swing into No Sorry's hands, and... oh. It's looking to be defensive here. Black Archangel, meanwhile... I mean, it's funny in one sense, but it's also a little bit sad, because this is kind of the only thing he can do right now. He can't take this farm because, realistically speaking, the cores need it quite a bit more than he does.
Right, Roche
Time.
could be up in 45.
Team Empire doing a pretty solid job here, just controlling that side of the map, so that if Roche does respawn quickly, they're going to be the ones to have control of it. As... whoop. Okay, goodbye, Courier. Jan tries to fly that one over Retrograde's head, and it doesn't quite work out. In the meantime, No Sorry are getting something out of this. Dream's pushing waves, and they just took a tier 1 tower, so... not coming away entirely empty-handed here, as they're still finding farm for themselves, but... very much a situation where they're just hoping that Team Empire don't come looking for them, but Empire are on the move. We'll see the Bane. That's really not the hero that they want at this point, and they're actually just ignoring him, but now... Okay. There's no one else in the area. Let's just take our free kill and sort of move along.
But it's gonna be a very slow Roche, which gives another at least 2 minutes for No Sorry to potentially catch back up a little bit.
Long timer gives them some extra sort of time to work with, and your Empire really just oh my god, no incentive for them to move right now. That's a basher on illusion. Okay. This Mirana build is not quite what I'm used to seeing, but certainly an interesting choice. You have another sort of source of lockdown here to maybe get a lucky bash through a BKB.
Uh-huh. But then she did go for the Moonlight Shadow evasion talent instead of the attack speed.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Okay. I don't really know at this point. It is what it is. Illusion's just gonna do whatever he feels right now. But hey, he's 8-5 and 15. His team is up massively for this point in the game, so maybe it's not the single most efficient item you could buy, but his team's got enough sort of space to just get away with it anyway.
I was checking the win probability, and before the bash rate was 99%, and now it went back to 98%.
Sure is a game-losing item according to win probability, but
Apparently, it doubles your chance to lose. That's a lot.
Dream still just sort of getting it done here in this bottom lane. Pushing things out. He finished off his Satanic, so Dream's farm has never been the problem in this game. He has been at the top of the net worth really since the laning stage ended, but is he enough to carry the game by himself? That is the question, because the other cores are massively behind their counterparts right now, so it still feels like too much pressure is going to fall onto Dream's shoulders to kind of carry his team through these fights. Roshan, though, is coming back up, seconds away, so we'll see if No Sorry can just sort of run their way over there. It's really not going to be easy for them, all things considered, but they're just not going to get there in time. They're going the wrong direction. Roche is already losing about a third of its HP, so Empire will get it for free. Aegis Cheese and a Refresher Shard all available for them. We'll see who takes what here. Retrograde takes the Aegis. Dodrin picks up the Shard. The Cheese is sitting on the ground. Someone please pick up the Cheese. Dear God, please, anyone. Thank you, BZ. And they got the Cheese. LS, that's an aggressive play. He's going to jump in, pops the BKB, goes for the Epicenter, ignoring Dream to just look for the Skywrath kill. And
yeah,
there
why
it is.
not?
Okay. ZZ finishes it with a Stroke of Fate, so not a bad play. Put the Skywrath on the defensive. He just bought out his Aghanim Scepter too, so not really going to be an immediate buyback for him, so he's down for 40. And Empire maybe have found their way in here. It's not a massive advantage, but I don't know. For a moment I was thinking maybe they just sort of try and push forward anyway, but they do have a lot to do in terms of actually pushing these waves out. You see Retrograde, he's down bot, but really didn't have lanes pushing in their favor before as, uh-oh, Dream. This is not a good place to be in right now. He's got the BKB. He could just try and TP out. He's going to do exactly that. Can Illusion get a bash?
Oh, no bash Brooks.
Oh.
Feels bad, man.
Also, the Bane was here, so that's a little bit awkward. Archangel taken down, but you get Dream out. That was the most important aspect of this is, oh my goodness. They're actually going to pull the CK back into the fight, and they take out that first life pretty quickly. Can they get him again, though? Not 100% sure, but Manic is going to try to zip his way forward. Retrograde protected by the Lotus, however. Now he'll pop the Phantasm. And Empire are going to push their way forward. They got the tier 3 tower. They get the Yules down onto the Kunkka, but Dream is able to fall back successfully. Now the Storm thinking about going back in, not really seeing his opportunity, though, so they will back away, but that means your Kunkka's on the front line with no BKB. They're going to trap him up. They get multiple stuns down onto him, and Dream is going to die. He'll buy back immediately. But it's starting to fall apart. No Sorry have to maintain cohesion here as the Storm's going to zip in, connecting onto 2, but there's no follow-up at the moment as Melis comes in, gets the Burrow Strike off, connecting onto the Skywrath Mage. They lock him down. Now Dream is alone again. He's going to get bashed up, stunned as well, silenced to hell, and he is taken down. That's a dieback from the Kunkka, and that's GG, called by No Sorry. Boy, Wingblade, that felt less like a fight and more like an execution. They just go in one at a time and they get picked off.
A little bit anticlimactic for sure. They played it so slowly, so carefully, and then suddenly the game just kind of ends.
Well, in a certain respect, No Sorry kind of probably saw that one coming. They were on the defensive for so long anyway, so when that final push does come in, it wasn't a situation where I think that they were favored to win that fight in the slightest, but even then, I was still expecting something a little bit better coordinated in that final attempt.
Yeah, it felt kind of rough. No Sorry was behind from the start, pretty much. They could never quite recover. But hey, that just happens sometimes. We'll see if they can recover in the next one.
That is the point to be made, right? This first game, not great. As you said, they were playing from behind pretty much the whole way through, but it's simply the first game of a best of 3. So they're going to have at least one more shot at this. No Sorry. Well, much like sort of one move earlier, might need to make some adjustments draft-wise, but they are certainly far from out of this series. So Empire take the opening match. We are going to be moving along to game 2 here in just about 15 minutes, so we shall see whether it will be Empire with the clean 2-0 sweep or if No Sorry can push this to a full 3 games. So for now, Wingblade and I will step away, and we'll see you in just a few minutes for the start of that game 2 draft.